Hey all. Hey, I wanted to do sort of an introductory open G tune. And the one we're going to do is Happy. So we're starting in the standard. Standard tuning, and that's an E chord. So if you didn't do anything at all, it would be in this. But it's in the key of B, and it's in open G. So if you're like, what is open G? What do I do? It's pretty simple. There are a few different options on what to do with the low E string, but from standard, your typical E, A, D, G, B. What I'll do is start with the low E down to D. The A string goes to G. E goes down to D. Right, so that's open G. Now, the Happy is in the key of B, so that would be. So you start with that. That's the whole tune right there. If you can do that, you can do the whole thing. However, you could do it with no capo and just bar across at 4 and do that. But Keith does it, of course, with a capo. So here's the first thing. If you're not used to a capo, I was in tune or close to it before that. Now when I put that on, not in tune anymore. Tune. And that's where we want to be. So it's not some big ordeal to tune in and out of open G. You just gotta tune the too low the E string down to D or up to G, whichever you want, or just ignore it entirely. So I play a lot of open G and just leave the low E string right where it is and just ignore it. So that goes to D or G, or stays where it is. A goes to G. The high E goes down to D. The D, G, and B strings, they stay right where they are, just like they would be in a G chord. If you played a G chord, the D, G, B, they would stay there. So you're in the right tuning. Now the good thing about Happy is it does the typical open G shapes that Keith tends to use. So it starts with this. Slide part, that's an overdub. That's a different guitar part. We're just doing the core Keith rhythm part. So you start here from the capo. That's 5 all the way across. Now when you hear the album version, this is how you hear it. When you hear the live ones, it's so the studio one starts with, and then you just go up 2 on the G string. On the live ones, and I don't know whether that was just the enthusiasm of playing it, but he doesn't suspend up the B string on that very first one, right? But on the live ones and on everything else after that first little chord on the studio one, he's doing. So he goes up 1 on the B and up 2 on the G. And then on the second one, he's up on the D instead of the G, and still a 1 up on the B string. So I don't know whether that was purposefully done to just do the G string. You can definitely hear the B string suspended on all the other ones throughout the song, but do it the way you want to do it, because on the live ones he's definitely doing, he does the B string suspended on both those chords. So we gotta get this part too. triplets going on there. So listen to it and work on this. That's that same suspension. 1 up on the B, 2 up on the D. First fret, again from the capo, 2nd fret on the D. Always choking for a stranger. The Stones Open G songs, almost all of them have this suspension. Up 1 on the B string and up 2 on the D. So whether it's up here, it's always that. Not always. Sometimes it does that other thing, like in Brown Sugar and in this one, it goes, instead of the D string up to, it'll go up the G string. But you'll hear those as you're sussing out Stone songs. Listen for that. Is it this one? Or is it? It's one of those two. Likely to be one of those two. You know, all those songs. Crazy Mama, All Down the Line, Brown Sugar, Start Me Up, even Honky Tonk Women. They're going to have that suspension in it. So this is a good one to work on that. Now, when it's going through the verses, you know, in the live ones, I just do... do much actual playing, especially in more recent years. He's sort of performing the songs as opposed to playing them. But decide for yourself on when he's going through the verses whether you want to do. You can do it like that, or you could do it as. So do your own, listen to the live versions, listen to the performances of it, and come up with your own, however you want to do that. But it is very much a feel thing, and it's not... It's not that. That's the opposite of what it is. Get some feel into it. Feel on it. In fact, if you watch, watch my videos, watch Keith playing, watch guitar players. They're not sitting there. In fact, I don't even know if I could play it without moving. For me, it helps to actually groove it. You need to do to keep in that pocket and keep the groove going. You ought to be able to sit there and do it with no drummer, and you keep the time. I mean, Keith is very much a timekeeper. His role in the band, he's really locked into Charlie. He's the rhythm section. It's Keith and Charlie that's the rhythm section, not Bill and Charlie. But anyway, this is a good one. Forgetting the slide parts, forget that. Just do Keith's part that he does well on the record and live. I think he also played bass on that one too, in the Exile version. But there's a good sort of primer intro to Open G, and then once you get that, you can start messing around with their whole Open G catalog. A lot of people think, oh, everything they did after, you know, starting around Sticky Fingers, everything Keith played is Open G. That's not true. He played a ton of. In fact, when you see this guitar most of the time, this was his standard tuning guitar. I'm using it for the Open G thing, but most of the time this was his standard tuning guitar, and you see this all over the place in 78, 81, you know, a lot of times. So he did a lot of standard tuning stuff, even in the Open G years. Tons of standard tuning all over those albums. But this is a good one to kind of start digging into Open G and also, you know, with a capo, and also getting a feel for being in the rhythm section. Good luck.